All right. Good morning, everyone. Of course, the dogs are saying hello too. Hey, guys. Uh, Welcome to my morning stream where I do a little bit of digging on what is currently on sale and where are the deals at in Canada on computers, tablets, smartphones, and all that stuff. So I usually start this my morning reviews with what is currently the most popular devices on my site. Actually, this one is a little bit older. Just let me set my things up real quick here. Yeah, I thought I'd just try streaming on Saturday, see how things went. Thought that'd be the kind of time where people would go shopping for a new device, right? So let's give this a try and see if I can reach more people that way. All right, so yeah, that one is still available from Best Buy online and in stores. And I just go over whatever is my visitors have been looking at the most on my site lately. Oh, and this is nice. Actually, that desktop PC impressed me quite a bit when I reviewed it this week. That Dell Tower has pretty attractive hardware inside, and at its current price, it's definitely worth a look. Still not sure I would go for that one personally. The stuff in it is really, really nice. I definitely wouldn't complain about that one. The one thing that would maybe keep me away from this is that as a factory built system, this one has a nice a nice RAM configuration on it, and the power supply is nice too. So even though it has slightly less upgradability options than, let's say, something that would be built from scratch by an experienced builder like, let's say, Memory Express in my case, um, I would have fewer ports. But yeah, now that I think about it, with all my machines currently, I didn't use more ports than what is currently available in that system. So you know what? It's not a bad pick at all. Factory system tends to have a little bit more hardware testing going on before their release as well. So yeah, sometimes there's benefit to picking up something that's built by Dell or HP or something like that instead of getting something built custom. Sometimes. Okay, and this is more the regular fare. An HP 15-inch laptop. Yeah, it's got the usual configuration, the i5 7200 in it with 8 gig of RAM. So yeah, it's pretty capable computer. Definitely a good pick for most people at home. The only thing that doesn't impress me on this specific model is that doesn't have a full HD screen, so you don't have a full 1080p on this one. Um, Some people will like that better because print are displayed a little bit larger on the screen. So if you've got some ocular tiredness or something like that using the computer, that might actually help a little bit with that. Although it's not the one with the largest print in my inventory right now. So right now I'm going through the different places that carry that laptop. It's actually available from, yeah, that one has two places carrying it at the moment. And yeah, price hasn't changed over on eBay, but since it's so popular, just let me add the shipping and import charges to this one. So we've got $25 delivery. And that one is in US dollars, so I'll want to convert that. 30.92 US and Canadian dollar gives me 39 bucks pretty much. Yeah, so that one, when importing it from, let's say, eBay, you add almost $100 to it. So yeah, in this case, yeah, I would definitely buy it from Staples instead of ordering it from eBay. Would be my personal choice. And yes, people visiting techadvisor.ca might assume that it's one of those automated websites that just keep track of prices and inventory automatically, and it's partly the case. I've got a robot taking care of the majority of the I keep roughly 1,000 links that I check on a regular basis on the site. And the robot helps me a lot keeping that up to date daily. But everything on techadvisor.ca is based on, well, first of all, I do a little bit of curation. I don't had every single device out there. I mostly pick from stuff that I would personally feel comfortable recommending. So I do avoid certain device lineage, or if I see certain configuration that, yeah, no, pretty much nobody's going to benefit from this specific deal, then I just don't add it. So it's, yeah, techadvisor.ca is something I work on a lot. It's not an automated system. And part of what I do is every morning I do get online and check on what's new, what are the prices like, where can I find those things. For instance, did the deal that became fresh yesterday already ran out in stores? That happens quite a bit. So that way my visitors always know where they can find what they're looking for. And it's always based on what the market currently has, instead of just reviewing one device, judging its value by the MSRP, and just letting it go. What I'm giving on my side starts with what is available in stores, and I just work my way up from there instead. Alright, so that one's available for delivery and in stores over at Staples. Managed to do a little bit of updates yesterday night, so only have 350 links to check this morning. Usually on Saturdays I try to update the whole thing. I don't have that hard deadline of checking in by 11 to do my newsletter, to send my newsletter and then do the videos that come after that. So I can take my time a little bit more on Saturdays, which might be a better fit for this stream, so we'll see about that. Alright, So $700 at HP, and yeah, it's still in stock, but they don't have any special kind of deal on this one. So yeah, I fully expect people to grab it from Staples instead of grabbing it from the manufacturer in this case. And then we go slightly up the price, up in price. Another 15-inch laptop, this one with AMD processor in it. Yeah, and same weakness as before. It's mostly the same configuration as before. It's another decent, even a slightly better than decent laptop, but with a low resolution screen still. And yeah, I'm kind of a stickler for grabbing my laptops with at least a 1080 screen, a 1080p screen, and here's why. The just 1366 by 780 pixel screen on this laptop is going to be fine for a lot of people. As long as you do only one thing at once, that's going to be perfectly fine. But you probably see my head panning all over the place as I stream this. And the reason for this is simply that, yeah, I'm a little bit of a serial multitasker in my case. I rarely do only one thing at once, and TechAdvisor.ca is a part of the reason why I do things this way. Because, yeah, I'm cross-referencing a lot of documents on a pretty regular basis. So, yeah, big part of what I do involves comparing documents to each other. So the minimum resolution I'm comfortable at personally is 1080p. That way I can have two documents open side by side, and usually that works. Yeah, that's workable. Sure, if I could have 4 screens set up that I could carry around easily, I might. But yeah, right now those things are beastly. So my current sweet spot is a 1080p laptop because I like to multitask so much. So if you tend to have, I don't know, YouTube videos or listening to podcasts, maybe even music, just so that you can have quick access to the player to switch from one music to the other or stuff like that, then a 1080p screen is actually a better choice than going with the lower resolution tier that is most available on the market right now. But if you're content doing only one thing at once, only checking one document, yeah, then the lower resolution one is not going to be a problem. It's going to be a slightly lesser experience for movie watching, but nothing big really. Depends on how demanding you are. If you work with programs with complicated user interface, like you probably the most impressive piece of software in terms of UI right now are probably audio editors and multi-trackers and stuff like that. So let's say if you do music, you edit multi-track audio or stuff like that, you will probably benefit from having a 1080p screen as a minimum as well. Just that way you can fit your work, you have a lot more space to fit your work in. Otherwise, you're going to be scrolling all over the place just to access the buttons you need. So that one's available in stores and online at London Drugs. And yeah, it might sound a little weird for me to look at computers at the same place where you would buy Band-Aid and cough syrup and that sort of thing, but London Drugs, computer department is pretty serious stuff from what I've seen so far, so I tend to keep an eye on them still. And every once in a while, they come through with a pretty attractive deal. So, might sound strange, but yeah, there's a reason why I do it. And no, it's not because they pay me or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I have no affiliate relationship with those guys. And that's one of the reasons I do a little bit of the manual stuff in the morning. I don't just want to have affiliate links on my site like most of those automated deal sites would. That way I can cover places that don't have affiliate programs, or I can also cover brick and mortar locations and retailers a little bit better than I would if I were to rely solely on automated processes. So Costco.ca has that 17-inch laptop. And that specific model I often refer to as having a large screen. Sorry about that. Talking's hard. But I often refer to it as having a large print screen. And the reason for that is that it's got relatively low resolution screen to start up with, and it's a 17-inch laptop. The laptop itself is really not very capable. It's I consider that to be pretty close to what the minimum configuration for a laptop would be, but it's got a large screen with very few pixels to push. So if your needs are simple and all you need is something you will read a lot of text on, but yeah, you're kind of tired of squinting in the screen, that's a good fit for that. All right, let's see. Yeah, and sometimes API return the wrong value too. Like in this case over at Amazon, the price is actually a little bit higher than what the API was giving me this morning. So sometimes it's worth doing manual correction on those. Uh, 626, the same 17-incher over at TigerDirect.ca, so no change there. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why you want to, how would I say, keep an eye on your automated processes. You want to be sure that the robot is doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, that laptop has been pretty popular in the recent weeks. Simply, it looks large, so people that find screens too small tend to gravitate toward that one, and it's pretty cheap. But really, that's the only reason why it grabs so much attention. That's one of the reasons I was so surprised that that Dell gaming laptop was as popular as it was earlier. Because usually the most popular stuff on TechAdvisor.ca are laptops in the $600 range. That's what gets the most visitors. online and in stores. Right. And yeah, those laptops are, it'd be easy to scoff at them and everything like that, but the truth is they're fine in most cases for simple needs. Well, not even simple, the regular stuff. So if you think of your need as, or what you do at the computer as nothing special, then yeah, those laptops are fine for that. And really, that's a lot of people fall in that category. All right, $500 on this laptop at the source, but in stores only. Always good to see. And you can see behind me what those computers are capable of too. The slide alternate between the specs of it, what kind of users this kind of laptop caters to, and the programs are which it's going to be able to run. So 1 star is going to be enough to, it meets minimal requirement from the developer of the program. So most people are going to be already fine with 1 star. If what you do is a little bit more involved, then 3 star is what recommended specs are set up at. Not every developer specify those, but usually I can extrapolate what they are. And yeah, 5 star is usually gravy. You do stuff with that program that nobody, well, nearly nobody else's does. You're a very advanced user, or you do something a little bit trickier, like for instance, you stream that program on Twitch and stuff like that, and you need a little bit of overhead to be able to encode the video live and present that to an audience in real time. But yeah, most people don't need the full 5 stars. Yes, Sherlock. Yes. One of my dog decided to roll around. That sounds very fun. Right, so manufacturer refurbished over at eBay. Let's see, this one has shipping and import charges as well, and yeah, it's got a fair amount of visitors still in the last 24 hours. So let's check on, let's factor in the delivery, even though that always takes a little longer. I couldn't do that for everything I've got from eBay. Import charge of $33. So almost $42 worth of import charges just to pass customs. So we get, yes, just over $700. Still worth considering in the right conditions. But yeah, for devices which are actively being looked at by people on eBay, I try to do the extra math to factor in delivery charges. And let's see, that one is literally gone from Best Buy. Still getting visitors though. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that one. Even though that's a 404 error. And $1,000 for this laptop over at Best Buy. Yeah, this is closer to something I would consider for myself. specs are closer to what I'd be personally looking for in a Windows laptop. And 14-inch is closer to actually what I look for in a laptop. I want something, I'll be the primary use for a laptop for me is to carry it around. So the smaller it is, the better in a lot of ways. So a 14-inch laptop's fine by me. It's got a full HD screen on it, and yeah. Let's see, what's the autonomy on that one? Yeah, it's pretty capable, and battery autonomy is good. So those would be my personal criteria for a laptop. Obviously, yours would differ, but yeah, I like that this one has a solid state drive on it instead of those cheap mechanical drives. You get much better performances out of those, especially on laptop. And since laptops get banged around a little bit more, having a solid state drive with no mobile parts means that yeah, they're a lot less susceptible to basically getting damaged by shocks and that kind of stuff. So certified open box, online only at Best Buy. So pretty standard stuff. Yeah, people are looking at iPads right now, which is, in my opinion, it's a great time to look for them. The next generation of iPads is going to be even stronger. I don't think they're in stores yet, I'm pretty sure. So what we're seeing right now is retailer liquidating the 2017 model, which was pretty capable too. It's one of the Apple device I'm most comfortable recommending, to be honest. And let's see, this one has import charges as well, so we start at 390. We add 15 bucks for shipping. No, actually 18 bucks because Canadian dollars. Plus we've got import charges that I have to convert. Let's see. So $27 for crossing, for getting through custom, and takes us to 430, almost $36, which makes eBay a not so attractive offer in this case. "17-inch gaming laptop on Microsoft site. Seems to be available online and in stores." So that kind of laptop usually I wouldn't recommend for someone that needs to take the computer out of the house on, let's say, several times a week. I've seen, back when I worked at university, I saw so many students lug those around and having all kinds of health issues because of it. And yeah, we're talking of 20 years old with back problems and stuff like that. So yeah, it's serious stuff. So yeah, lugging around a 17-inch laptop because you want to be able to, when you take it home, plug it in and play, I don't know, League of Legends or Fortnite or that sort of stuff. Not always the best solution. If you're always going to be playing from the same location, My personal advice is usually you invest in a good gaming rig uh, for but a stationary one, something that you can make last for a long time and recoup your investment. And you just, if you can, take out gaming entirely out of the equation on your laptop. That way you end up with something cheaper, smaller, easier to carry, and that's something you can take to class, do your work on, take notes, and whatever you need to do, do your group projects in the library, all that. But yeah, if you can, keep your class laptop and your gaming rig separate, if you can. Because yeah, carrying those 17 inches around is no joke. They're excellent if, let's say, you're in an apartment and you don't have room to dedicate to a fixed computer. That way then gives you a really decent computer you can just put on the table, open, work on it for a short amount of time. Usually a laptop in that configuration, it'd be comfortable to use for up to 30 minutes. And when you're done, you just close it down and stash it somewhere else. And you can use the space for something else. If you want to use your gaming laptop for more than 30 minutes, then you will probably want some kind of a laptop stand to try to raise the monitor a little bit to a more comfortable level, and you will probably want a keyboard and mouse to play. And then you can take your gaming session to up to 1 hour in relatively comfortable then. So yeah, if you care about your physical well-being, or even maybe you've started to feel pain when you play for long periods of time, just those really cheap accessories will do a lot to improve your health. And you just need, let's say, a $10 riser from IKEA and a $35 keyboard and mouse. And just that already will improve your gaming quite a bit. Because yeah, it's always a lot easier to have a good time when you're not in physical pain, you know? Powering through is fine and all of that, but yeah, there's a point where it's important to take a break. Got some corgi wrestling going on behind me. Alright, so iPhone 7. Let's see what's going on with that one. Not especially popular right now, but got it marked for random checkup. And yeah, Bell is still selling that one for a little bit over 750. Huh. And I see that Restream.io does send social alerts, but doesn't include a link to my stream when it does. That's a bit of a bummer. I thought they would have some kind of a landing page or something like that. Alright, good to know. Actually, they do send a link on Twitch. I guess that one works. Just my Facebook followers are not getting a very useful notification in this case. Oh well. So here we have a pretty good webcam for those of us that need something a little better. I do have that one. I've used it for years. I like it quite a bit. One of the nicest thing about that webcam is that it's plug and play. There is no drivers or installation required. So you can just plug it from one computer to the next, no installation needed or anything like that. And it just works. The other nice thing is, and one of the reasons why I would recommend investing in it, even if you're not, let's say, big into technology or you already have a webcam on your laptop, is if you ever do group video conference from time to time. Like, let's say if you have the whole family talking to someone on the other end of the connection. Because that webcam has a pretty good set of dual speakers, and it's meant for conference rooms. That's one of the reasons why it requires no drivers or anything like that. All the autofocus is done by the camera itself, not the drivers. And the microphone is meant to pick up sound from a whole room, not just a point in space that's, let's say, 3 foot ahead of the webcam itself, you know? So if you want to include a room full of people into a video conference, that might be a better solution. Sure, it won't take a full conference room, especially if it's big, but it's going to be able to accommodate, let's say, up to 8 people. So, yeah, worth considering for those reasons. So if you do holiday Skype calls and stuff like that, that would be a better pick than using whatever is on your laptop at that point. All right, iPhone 8 doing big promotion for their red products. As they should, but yeah, it's over $1,000 for the regular iPhone 8. But the one I have in here is the Plus model. So let me correct that real quick. Yeah, pricing's pretty much the same, and if I look around for stocks in Apple stores, yeah, they have plenty of those available at the moment. So if you like your iPhones and stuff like that need to replace them, iPhone 8 is probably one of the sweet spot for those at the moment. Microsoft Surface Pro sold by Amazon itself for $2,200 in this case. WDA, so I think that's the keyboard cover. Not sure. So, yeah, not a bad deal in this case, but yeah, Surface tablets are crazy expensive. They're worth the investment if you really need something that because battery life's great, they're pretty capable too, especially for tablets. So if for someone that logs a tablet from meeting to meeting and don't necessarily have much time to recharge or much opportunity to plug their laptop from meeting to meeting, might actually be worth it. But yeah, you pay a high premium for those. And this MSI Vortex computer, yeah, has pretty striking specs, although the power supply is a little bit weak in that one. And yeah, pricing's pretty high too. But if you really need something, you want to bring PC gaming to the living room and don't have much space to do it, and you'd rather not stream using, let's say, Steam Connect or something like that, that might be the solution. And yeah, it's online only at this point. Yeah, because that wouldn't look too out of place on inside a media center kind of furniture piece. Almost 4 grand for the Surface Studio here with 9.5 and 1 TB of hard drive in it. Yeah, Surface products tends to be on the very expensive side of things, and that's definitely no exception. Could be interesting for someone that doesn't have a lot of space but wouldn't want to have a Cintiq in their rig. So illustrators, if you do a lot of drawing or digital painting, that sort of stuff, it's fantastic station for that. I just don't think you save any money with it. It's going to last a lot less than a bigger computer with a separate Cintiq and all of that, and it's going to cost you roughly the same price overall. But the main factor is space saving in this case. So if saving space is more important to you than getting the longest life expectancy out of your money, that might be a choice. Because yeah, sometimes you don't have the ideal amount of space at your disposal. And grabbing more space costs a lot. So sometimes those compact solutions are actually worth it to a few people. iPad Pro over at Westworld, and yeah, they do have that in stock. Oh no, sold out. Let's see, do they have it in a different color? Gold is always the last one to go. Yeah, even rose gold is gone. So yeah, iPad Pro Gold 10" and a half Westworld still carries those. But yeah, you have a lot less choice for color at this point. So yeah, with the announcement they did with iPad Pros and now the regular iPad is able to take the Apple stylus, I'm guessing a lot of those iPad Pros are ceasing to be relevant for new purchases anyway. And let's see, to pick a color for that one, but yeah, they still carry that MacBook, still at the same price too. Yeah, Apple products, you don't see price drops on a regular basis for those. So 1049 on The Surface Pro i5. Only 4 gig of RAM though. So you won't be doing a lot of multitasking on this one, but they are a nice device. They're not great to use on, let's say, your lap because of the flap they use behind the screen, but placed on the table, they're pretty they're usable as a laptop. And one more, an Alienware Aurora over at Microsoft. And that one's available online only. The GTX 1070 inside with 16 gigs of RAM and an SSD plus mechanical drive in there and a pretty strong i7 there too. It's a bit more expensive than I'd like for this configuration, considering what else is available in the market at the moment, however. Every once in a while it becomes an attractive solution, but not today. Best Buy currently has a better deal for, a computer you can just walk to the store, pick up on the shelf, and bring home and play the same night. This one, $800 online only over at Microsoft. Pretty standard stuff. Price went up on the Razer Ornata over at Amazon. So it's one of those Mecha Membrane keyboard for gamers. I'm always a little bit skeptical of those. Just sounds to me like I would rather get a real mechanical keyboard if it were me. But then again, not everyone replaced their keyboard because they're broken. Sometimes they just have amassed enough gunk that you don't feel like cleaning them, and it's easier to just toss it and buy a new one. If that's your situation, then maybe the money saving of going for a membrane keyboard with a mechanical feel would be good enough. If you tend to clean your stuff and keep it clean, then probably investing in a real mechanical keyboard would be worth your investment then, because they would last a little bit longer than that. Although, still using a membrane keyboard myself, they're not bad. They're definitely not bad. Still have, I think they're even membrane keyboard from the 90s, and yeah, they still work fine too. Almost $900 for this laptop over at the Source, and yeah, it's still available in stores in at least one place, and it's available online, so definitely a valid choice. $2,100 for 15-inch gaming laptop. So By gaming laptop standards, that one's a little bit more versatile. 15-inch, it's reasonable to assume you'll be able to carry those on a regular basis. They're still thicker, heavier. And all of that, but and you will definitely need a power supply for those. But you can carry those around. That one is available for 2,100, and Microsoft is carrying it both in stores and online right now. And hi, Cookie Pepe. How's your, are you preparing to go shopping this weekend? Still a few Galaxy Notes left over at Memory Express. They're a little short on stock, but yeah, I'll still mark them as online and in stock because they have one that is available online. So you've got some flexibility there. The S9 for $960 online and in stores over at Freedom. Sorry for the dogs. And $800, that is out of stock right now on eBay. Still, those curved screens are pretty nice. And let's see, this tower is now out of stock over at Staples. Keep an eye on it, but it looks like it's gone for good at this point. So $372. Yeah, Costco.ca not currently carrying any of the iPads. That's the 2017 model. Yeah, even in gold, they're not carrying it. So I'll keep an eye on that. But it looks like Costco is done liquidating their 2017 stock of iPad. Same with Newegg. We've got a slight price drop on this tower computer over at Best Buy today. So it's online and in stores. And let's see, I've pretty much reached the point where all the popular stuff's been covered. So let's find the one I'm going to be tweeting about as the trending device. Was trying to not be too spammy with those. So let's see let's compare that to what I mentioned before on my tweets as well. So the most popular one is that Inspiron Gaming PC I started the stream with, in which I was very impressed with too. And since I added that only 2 days ago and just started trending, this one is definitely going to be the trending device for today. All right. Always nice when finding the most popular device to recommend in the morning is that easy. All right. Yes, Willow. Yes. My dog wants to play ball. And she will insist on it a little bit, so I apologize in advance. Alright, in the refurbished section, we've got that tower computer over at Best Buy. They do have it in stock online. It's attractive for a few reasons. And that one went down in price, but it's already out of stock everywhere. So not sure why they're reducing the price on something they already liquidated. $2,300 on this gaming computer. Still doesn't hold a candle to that Dell gaming tower from earlier. So not a valid deal for today. Well, not in my eye anyway. If you prefer HP to Dell for some reason, then maybe you would consider that one. Always depends on what your story with a manufacturer has been so far. Should never basically follow a manufacturer blindly. But the value you perceive from them is definitely going to be colored by your history with them. Yeah, Robot actually detected the right price on this one, and it's currently available too over on HP. So you will have more options to buy this specific laptop straight from the manufacturer if you desire so. And another refurbished laptop from Dell over at Best Buy. Pretty capable device, as you see. Currently available online only. Because, yeah, Best Buy sell their refurbished stuff online, not in stores. And with the right warranty, refurbished devices are nothing to scoff at. All right, $930 for this tower computer. With a GTX 1050. Yeah, 12 gigs of RAM is a little bit of a red flag to me, especially in a gaming system, but it's par for the course at this price point. Because when you see 12 gigs of RAM, that almost always means that your RAM socket are not matching, and therefore they're not running at their full speed. So usually I try to avoid recommending 12 gigs of RAM devices as much as I can. That one is now available online and in stores. It was online only yesterday. So it's nice to bring it back there. That one is gone, but still is... People are still looking at it enough that I'm going to keep it around just so people have a link to follow to investigate, but that has been out of stock for a long while. That one is gone as well from Newegg stocks. So we'll say goodbye to that. $1,000 for that laptop. Another 14-inch, but this one has a full HD screen. A bit expensive for those specs, but yeah, with fast drive and all of that, might still be worth the investment. Maybe just wait for price to drop again. So $2,000 on the Gigabyte Aero. Reviews on that one were pretty interesting. It sounds like that laptop is able to have both pretty decent battery life and decent gaming prowess. So, of course, the moment you're going to start a game, you're going to drain the battery really quick. But at least if you want one device to do both gaming and take to, let's say, class, if you're a student, that has more potential. It's pretty expensive, and I think another computer is the only one carrying it at this point. Yeah, it is. So, and it's available in stores only, so very few people will be able to buy it at this point. But pricing on it is not bad. Historically speaking, of course. Because yeah, Newegg has it listed, but it's out of stock. And let's see, $570 for that one, but it's out of stock at Staples. Who else carries it? Yeah, you're better off buying it straight from HP at this point. $350 for that 15-inch laptop. Not very capable in general. It will run a few things, as you see. It's just probably not going to be a very pleasant experience. At 4 gigs of RAM, I definitely don't expect to do multiple things at once. But if you're a unitasker, it's better than nothing. But usually at this price point, I shop for a Chromebook rather than a Windows device. And the logic behind that is that, yes, the Windows device is going to be more versatile. You're going to be able to do more things with it, but it won't do anything well. Everything's going to be characterized by long loading periods, and you're going to wait after that laptop quite a bit, I think. And it's not going to do any task very well, even just browsing online. Well, if you took a Chromebook, sure, you've got fewer options, but the things it's going to do will be pretty decent compared to what your experience on a Windows device of the same caliber would be. So that's my logic. If you're really short for cash and really need Word and Excel and can't use the online version of those programs, well, that might be the option for you then. As long as you're patient enough and don't expect anything snappy or speedy with it, might do the trick. But yeah, just be aware your patience will be tested, and usually Windows devices of this price point come with a lot of crapware bundled in. So if you're not comfortable doing a little bit of cleanup on your computer right from the get-go, yeah, might not be such a good deal. So I'll keep a few of those $300 Windows laptop around just to be able to give a reference point, and I make sure to highlight what they're capable of really or not. But yeah, very few people, in my opinion, would find their match with a computer like that. Their computer match, mind you. So let's see, $1,936 on this Omen gaming laptop, and it's in warehouse only, so online only over at Mike's Computer Shop. And let's see, there's a few other places to get it, but yeah, if you are going to be shopping online for your computer, that's currently the best price for this specific model. And let's see, $1,730 for this Mac Pro online and in stores. Newegg seems to have it as well. No changes there. And that is a little bit pricey for an iPod Touch at the moment for Best Buy. They're still liquidating them on Walmart's website, although it's the gold color only. If you've got a problem with gold, then yeah, it's probably not going to be the deal for you. But yeah, those little things are pretty well adapted for just playing stuff, playing videos and stuff like that. So it's kind of the typical smart device you would get a kid. And that way you don't have to pay for mobile service or anything like that. I would rather have one of those for my kids than, let's say, loan them my smartphone every once in a while so that they could play games. Yeah, and that small webcam is still there. That is the model I'm currently using, by the way. So yeah, it's not bad, especially for such a low price. Just grab really what the price is once it's delivered and everything else. And so pretty much unchanged. Money exchange didn't change that value too much. But yeah, small webcam that just works. And in my opinion, does its job pretty well. It's nothing fancy, it doesn't have autofocus or anything like that. It's got a fixed focus on it. But yeah, so far it's been working very well for me. Tried it on Linux and macOS devices too. And yeah, it works fine everywhere. Which to me is a pretty big quality for a webcam. Another 15-inch laptop from Best Buy, from Dell, but it's out. Doesn't seem to be available on their online store anymore, so that's probably one less options for mobile gamers. Although you can still buy it from a few other places, from what I'm seeing. 1155 for this Dell. So fairly capable, this one. It's still a lot of money to put on a computer that doesn't reach recommended specs for Fortnite yet. It's kind of my base point at this stage. If I were to buy a laptop for a gamer, I want at least that, because that game seems to be pretty easy to run, or at least according to the developer. So if your gaming laptop doesn't run that, you're going to be limited in a lot of ways. And I'm pretty sure I've seen computers at 1300 reach that point fairly easily. 850. Galaxy S8. Pretty good. Pretty good smartphone at this point on the Android side of things. Sure, the S9 is out, but the performance and battery life between the S8 and S9 are very similar. The the biggest difference between the two is the camera. So if you really want that new camera in there that granted looks pretty amazing, uh, that'd be the only reason to get the S9 over the S8, but the S8 has a great camera already. So definitely not a bad compromise to do. Gaming monitor. Yeah, 29-inch, that's probably pretty damn immersive at that point. In stock and online, and yes, the same price. Not bad at all for that price. For 29-inch gaming monitor, yeah. With FreeSync and everything. Definitely worth considering. Especially if you have only a single monitor in your setup. $130 for the Logitech Lightspeed. But yeah, if you want a wireless gaming mouse, that'd be pretty high on my list. Personally, I prefer handling cables than handling batteries. So for that reason, I usually stick with wired mouses myself. But if you don't like cable management and that sort of stuff, or maybe you want to use it with a laptop and would rather have a tiny dongle on it than plugging something all the time, then that would be worth looking into for sure. Especially at the price Amazon is selling it at for right now. Right, 450 for the Galaxy Tab S2. So that one is sized pretty much the same as an iPad. Currently available online only over at Best Buy. $450 for that Galaxy Tab S2 again. That one's available online and in stores. So G6, not a bad smartphone. Comes in my recommendation every once in a while, but the S8 was a bit more attractive this week. That Aero G Strix is at its um, regular price or on Best Buy. Pretty good machine, but I wouldn't get it at its current price. I would wait for it to drop again. Mm, 650 on the key one. Worth considering if you want a physical keyboard on your smartphone. A few people are actually quite a bit faster on those than virtual keyboards, but usually speed is not the main benefit of having a physical keyboard. Main benefit is that you can touch type on those with obviously a little bit of training. And that's a feature that's not common. Then again, because very few people really benefit from it. Because yeah, virtual keyboards are starting to be pretty good. You can usually type on them pretty fast once you get used to them. $400 online Galaxy Tab A. That one is no longer in stores. That's basically the change here. Not a very capable capable tablet for the price, I find. My expectations at that price point are quite a bit higher at this point. 380 on, yeah, same tablet. And yeah, that one's available both in stores and online at Canada Computer. They're currently the ones with the best deal on that specific tablet right now. And because yeah, here at Walmart it's currently not available, and price actually went up $100 since yesterday. So not the place to grab that tablet right now. Zoe monitor at yeah, best price is $220 over at Memory Express. So that is worth considering in my opinion. Although I admit the 29-inch I saw earlier kind of caught my eye, and not sure I would go for the Zoe anymore. Then again, depends on how much space you have available. They're both gaming monitors. Tech on this one is a little bit older, but still not a slouch by any means. So final clearance on Asus ZenBook Flip 13-inch. So really small one, and yeah, it's gone from stock at Best Buy. It's been that way for almost a week at this point. Galaxy A5. Yeah, still sold directly from Samsung if you want to get it straight from the manufacturer. Not a bad device at all. There's just a few better places to buy it than Samsung's website at this point. Alright, so Galaxy A5 again. Yeah, this one, Canada Computer currently has the best price on those. Yeah, not a bad device to get right now. And buying your own device gives you access to much more interesting plans usually, so you can save over time. The only competition I would see to the A5 would be the Galaxy S5. Definitely an older model at this point. But the thing is, it's more capable than the A5, and the camera was already really good back when it came out. So considering they both sell for the same price, it's a very attractive alternative to the A5. The only downside it has is that because it's much older, then the downside you get is that you're probably not going much software update for that device anymore. So it's you might be left behind relatively quick, especially if you're really into apps and games and that sort of stuff. But if you're mostly looking for a device for your basically phone calls, social media, and taking photos, it's a really good camera for that price. Slight price drop on that MMO mouse. Actually used that one for a while. I was pretty happy with it actually. Didn't quite do what I was looking for, but yeah, let's say I've got a pretty uncommon setup on my desk right now. I've got four computers in an array, four laptops, or four monitors in an array. So I drag for pretty long distance on this thing. So sometimes finding something comfortable to control those four things from a single set of keyboard and mouse takes a little bit of extra work. Google Pixel 2 available from Google itself, just under $900. $1,100 for an Inspiron Touch laptop. Price is a little higher than what I usually recommended this device at. So if that's what you're looking for, maybe just wait for a slight price drop because it's probably going to come back. $950 here. It's out of stock pretty much everywhere. So Microsoft won't be a supplier for that, not right now anyway. Slight price change over at B&H on this Acer monitor. Not that they changed the price or anything, but the money change rate changed a tiny bit. And B&H makes pretty serious effort to accommodate Canada-based shoppers, so I definitely consider them for a few items, especially the one that qualify for their free shipping offer. So it's over $100 USD. $1,300, but it's out of stock over at Canada Computer. So yeah, it's going to be only available from Staples right now. And the Mac Mini. Pretty decent device if for the Mac user. Very good fit for the media center if you want something a little bit more flexible than, let's say, an Android box or something like that. It's also a pretty decent way to, let's say, have a stationary backup for your laptop computer. That way you can sync to that device, and in case something happens to your laptop, you have that to fall back onto. And since it's so small, you can just put it next to your TV and basically have that being your computer instead of dedicating a desk for it, you know? The way you can play web games on TV, you can play videos from any streaming service you want. You can play your home video files without a weird setup or using your mobile device to control the whole thing. So it could be attractive to a few people. And Newegg has that HyperX gaming mouse for $65. Did not try that one personally, but heard great things about it. $65 online and in stores, and it looks like it would almost be ambidextrous. But yeah, being a gamer and being a lefty at the same time, that looks like a pretty tough position to be in these days. There's not a lot of ambidextrous mice out there right now. So there's definitely benefit of being able to use your right hand to still do the tracking stuff. Microsoft Surface Pro. Let's see. $1,500 over at B&H. $1,600.50 over at Best Buy for the same device. That set is available in stores only at Canada Computer. Heard pretty good things, and yeah, if you're playing on a laptop and just want something a little bit more comfortable for extended gaming sessions, it's a pretty good pick for that. And at $35, well, that gives you something inexpensive to test it out first. You don't always need to invest into a $200 keyboard and a $150 mouse. LG G5 currently stable in price over at Newegg. Not necessarily a bad pick. It's got a fairly decent camera in it too. And if you can find the camera extension on it, you can extend its battery life and have a dedicated shutter control on it. So if the main reason for which you use your you pick your camera, if you do a lot of pictures on your cell phone, that might be worth it. That iMac is currently out of stock pretty much everywhere. Took a long time for London Drugs to finish liquidating that one. $300, 60 for this convertible Chromebook. Not a bad pick at all. It used to be available for a little bit less as a refurbished device over at Canada Computer, but even at 360, it's not a bad pick. When you think about it, it's roughly the price of an iPad. It's got a slightly larger screen, you've got built-in keyboard, and in my opinion, it's a little bit more versatile. I personally prefer having access to a real web browser than being stuck on a web app. Mobile app. Yeah, mobile app also tend to, well, let's just say their motivation is mostly to get more information about their users than what the browser would give them. Even though, yeah, browser give away a lot of information about you too. So refurbished system over at Visions Electronic. I like that one quite a bit because of the configuration on that one. It's sure it's older, but it's upgraded with Windows 10. It's quite capable, and that variant even has not very powerful graphics card in it. So and it comes down in price at $300 on a pretty regular basis. So whenever that that price drops to 300, it's a tremendous deal in my opinion. If you just need something for homework and all of that, it's a great pick for that. Maybe even as a computer that you hook to the television, as a media player or that sort of thing. It's going to be a lot more versatile than what those Android boxes would be. So those ergonomic keyboards. Not a big investment on those, which is nice. Being affordable at the computer is very important compared to we give it very little thought, but yeah, the moment you start hurting, you realize how important comfort is. Definitely worth your investment. Because you know it's hard to have fun when you're in physical pain. Prices are stable on that joystick. Same here on this tower computer. There's better deals out right now, especially considering this one only has 12 gigs of RAM. But it's still not a bad price, even though it's back on its regular pricing. But it's one of those things with that one. You know it's going to drop in price in the coming weeks. So if that's your choice right now, you can always wait a little longer. And this one's still out of stock over at Best Buy and everywhere else from what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I remember that mouse. That was a pretty comfortable. That was a pretty comfortable setup there. It's wireless too and everything. Not a bad pick from my what I remember. Newegg has a refurbished version for only for $40 if you don't mind having a refurbished keyboard and mouse. It's factory refurbished, so you don't have to worry so much about, how would I say, inheriting the bodily secretion of the previous owner. Because you we can assume they took it apart, cleaned it properly before they sold it again, so it's probably, okay. And for $40 only for something that sells for over $100 everywhere else. If money's tight right now, there's worst places you could save money at. So no change on that one at Best Buy. Same here at Newegg. Yeah, not much movement on the Rival 300 today. D-Tech 50 still out of stock at Videotron. Don't expect it to come back there. The D-Tech 50 was an interesting pick for a relatively short amount of time. Didn't get good reception when it came out. But the good thing about that was that it dropped in price pretty quick and became a good value for the price after the fact. But obviously it was out of the media's attention by that point, so a lot of people passed on that, but it wasn't a terrible smartphone. No matter what you think about BlackBerry or not, it was running a compatible version of Android on it. And you had a few additional security feature that you could use, so yeah, not for a while it was a pretty attractive smartphone. But I think they're done liquidating the stock that was produced in first batch. Mm, 110. Pretty similar set of mouse and keyboard. Slightly older model. Still out of stock at Newegg, has been for a week now. Online and in stores for that set of speakers. Is that, yeah, it's the, pretty sure that's not the yeah, that's the THX certified. Best deal on that right now is still over at Staples, however. Not Best Buy like I'm currently looking at. So then again, another place where you can get refurbished stuff, peripherals for your computers, 30 bucks for a recertified set of speakers from the factory. Not necessarily a bad pick. I don't guarantee that it's going to be your solution long term, but at least it gives you something to use in the short term that should sound pretty nice. So if you're not sure if you want to invest in speakers or not, you could do a lot worse. $120 on this BenQ monitor. Not a bad pick if you want to upgrade a laptop into a desktop kind of computer, or at least have a stationary workstation for it. Or maybe even add a second screen to a computer you already have. That's a way to do it without investing a lot of money. So 900, and in this case it's online and in stores from Mike's Computer Shop. Capable of quite a few things, even though it's not the most recent computer out there. Still was made of the good stuff back in the day. And often that's the thing with quality. Generations don't make that much of a difference in computers anymore. You gain a little bit of performance every generation, but really not that much. We're mostly gaining on battery endurance and that kind of stuff instead. So when you buy something that's powerful enough, it can last you quite a while. So often not investing enough is the biggest waste of money you can make when buying a new computer. Some other things like smartphones and tablets, however, yeah, they degrade pretty much at the same speed no matter how much you invest into them. So I don't usually invest that much into a mobile device, to be honest. My current trackball. Actually ended up liking using a trackball a lot more than I thought. Allows me to shift which part of my hand I use. That way I can basically stay comfortable at the computer. Because with the amount of time I spend at the computer, no matter what I get, I pretty much end up getting cramps eventually. So just switching which part of my hand I exert when using the computer allows me to basically keep using it. So $100 for that webcam. Yeah, Amazon's still the price to get it in this case. Amazon can be really good for peripherals sometimes. Pricing is really good over there on this kind of stuff. But right now, well, no, they beat Best Buy. Backlit mechanical keyboard with USB pass-through. It's pretty much at its regular price right now, so no change, no reason to get excited about that. iPhone 8 Plus, yeah, still $1,100. $33.49 on speakers. Those don't take much space on the desk, so if you need something compact, they're not too bad. Got quite a few of those in offices where I do some maintenance. It's currently online only at Mike's Computer Shop, according to their website anyway. Getting the computer, it's back in stock. $80 on the Proteus mouse, which is what I currently have, and yeah, I like that one quite a bit. Definitely worth the investment. Mine is not the RGB model that we find the most these days, but yeah, at least prices came down sufficiently that, yeah, even having it with the RGB feature, whether you use it or not, it's not terrible. Not a fan of paying extra for RGB lighting myself. Don't really care that much about the color of the lights coming out, or if there's lights at all. But that's me, especially if you use your computer in a dimly lit room. Backlit keyboard can be pretty convenient in those cases. Even though the better option in those cases is just to turn the lights on. I went past the 50% mark on the work I've got to do this morning. I'll just finish this computer over here. And I'll go take a quick break. Just stretch my legs a little bit and focus my eyes on something that's not backlit for a little while. Alright, I'll just take a quick break and I'll be right back. I'll leave you with the current rebates available on the current Canadian market. So don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And I'm back. So more price updates, and yes, hi Willow. My dog's very disappointed that she didn't get to play ball during the break. Life is unfair. Another 17-inch gaming laptop here. And usually at this point during my update process, there's not a lot of changes happening. Things are pretty stable usually at this point. But yeah, one of the main reasons why I'm doing this stream is so that you have, well, it's to have an opportunity to basically a window open for you, my users to ask questions and have a little glimpse behind the scene on what's going on at techadvisor.ca. Voilà. So online only on this HP tower. Yeah, 3200 for a laptop. That's quite the investment there. That plus, I'm not sure I'm into the touch bar Apple added to their MacBook Pro line. Don't know about you guys, but yeah, I'm not sure I see the value in it. Especially since some people try to make programs to make use of it, and Apple wasn't too happy about that. It's kind of disappointing at this point. I mean, if you're going to add a feature and then people try to use that feature and you get a little pissy about it, doesn't exactly look very good to me. It's a little bit like if Nintendo got a little angry at people trying to use motion control in their games on the Wii, let's say. Doesn't really make sense. So far it looks like my stream are even less popular on the weekend than they are during the week, so we'll see. If it stays like this, probably I will stop doing Saturdays. Because those streams, believe it or not, take quite a bit out of me. $9.99. Ultra wide monitors. Those can be pretty attractive too. For multitaskers like me, especially. $1,300 on the Note 8. $125 on this Edifier set of bookshelf speakers. Gotta admit, those things look pretty good. It's my kind of speakers. Xbox controller for Windows. That's a pretty easy solution for controlling your console port games at their best. Most of them are designed for the Xbox controller to start up with. Because usually publisher, when they port their console titles to the PC, they start with the Xbox version, since from an hardware standpoint and the APIs used, it's definitely the closest. So it's the most straightforward conversion. And since you can use the same controller for both, usually that just makes it very simple to do. It's nice that we can hook up PlayStation controllers and stuff like that nowadays too. But still, just from a technology standpoint, usually things will go from Xbox One to PC in that order when they're ported. So usually you will still have traces of the Xbox controller no matter what you plug into it. Although a few are starting to give you the choice between the two controller styles. The XL Google Pixel 2. Yeah, no change there. It's back at regular price after being on a slight rebate for a little while. LG V30. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with the new styles for compatibility. Makes things quite easy to read, I find. Usually I manage to have a slight improvement to something on the site from one day to the other. It's more or less my video game these days. Just program something just slightly cooler every day. In stores only on that monitor. Not the most attractively priced deal right now. I've seen a few 22-inch monitors priced a little below that. No changes on that Transformer Mini. Such an underpowered computer, I'm not sure it's really worth the money they ask for it, really. Sounds like anything you would try to do on a PC like that would be a little painful in terms of waiting time and how weak the processor is. What you ask of that computer better be really simple. Which makes the stylus a little bit redundant. Because the primary role I would have for a PC, which is also a tablet with a stylus, would be to do some digital painting or drawing or that kind of stuff on it. But if I can't run my usual programs like, let's say, Photoshop or Illustrator on that tablet, then makes the whole thing kind of fall apart. Now, and we have it's a price rise on that MSI laptop over at Newegg. No change there from Kinetic Computers. Yeah, $130 on a 7-inch tablet. Not necessarily a bad deal. Currently using a $100 tablet from Amazon. And I like it quite a bit. Only problem is it doesn't have access to the official Google Play Store, which in turn means that I can't use the official YouTube app for it. There's a little quarrel between Amazon and Google at this point, and ended up penalizing each users pretty much. So can't have any of the Google official apps on Amazon devices and vice versa. I managed to find an app that kind of solved the issues of the web version of YouTube, so I can still use it. And that's most of what I do on it even. And it's good enough for me, but yeah, it would be nice to have a better app to do that work. Otherwise, most of other popular apps, you can find them too. One thing I've noticed, however, I've been trying to get music to play from their live music store, and so far I'm not as happy with the Amazon version, even though I've got a Prime account, than I am with, let's say, the free version of Google Music Store. Because the Google Music Store has stuff that I would listen to, but nothing on the Amazon side yet. Otherwise, yeah, Amazon Video is pretty good in my opinion. Doesn't quite compare to, let's say, Netflix at this point, but considering everything else I get with a Prime membership, it's been a pretty good deal for that so far. Personally, I'm just looking forward to YouTube Red coming to Canada. Ads have been really annoying on YouTube lately, and I'd like a different way to support creators than watching ads really. My wife already is a subscriber to the Google Music service, so yeah, that'd be a no-brainer for us. But sadly, Google is way behind schedule to bringing YouTube Red on Canada. That was supposed to happen, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah, and those Samsung Windows tablet are pretty interesting. Unlike the sorry, unlike the Surface tablets, they come with everything that you're going to need out of it. So that's something I respect quite a bit, even though they're not as high end as the Surface products. But sometimes, yeah, you're not necessarily after quality. Yes, what out? So, yeah, you're yes, you're bored. Alright, this one is available online only at Microbytes. Still online only for this one. Only available as certified open box over at Best Buy. And those Stream laptops are pretty inexpensive, really. But yeah, they're not capable of much. Usually at that price point, I'd feel more inclined to buying a Chromebook rather than this. What is it, Will? Yeah, later. So no change on this laptop. Yes, Willow's contributing to the stream. She usually does. Because she disapproves of my activity here. $800 or at Best Buy. Yeah, not what I would usually recommend. Especially since it's available online only at this point. Just adding the touchscreen option to a laptop sometimes. You sacrifice so much on battery life, and in my opinion, that's, well, in my experience personally, my use of a laptop relies on battery life a lot. So I value battery life quite a bit more than most of the things when I shop for a laptop personally. When it comes to power that you can take somewhere else with you, there's better deals out there. The touchscreen never really benefit to that. It's got a little bit of a versatility value to it. But yeah, I'm not really willing to pay more for a touchscreen option, you know what I mean? But a few all-in-ones in here. All-in-ones are pretty good space-saving solutions. Compared to a laptop, you get a much bigger screen and they will usually have better performance and last longer simply because they're not subjected to all the shocks and vibration laptops are subject to. And they're pretty good They're pretty good kitchen computers, in my opinion. One of the because I find the kitchen is a pretty good location for a computer, especially if you're not a household where you have a desk dedicated to your computer. It's it's a central location. It's a pretty good place to have to do your social networking and all that. Have access to your recipe pretty easily. And when you have an all-in-one to do that task instead of, let's say, a laptop, one of the benefits you can enjoy is that there's no electronics in the base, which means that if there's a spill or something like that, nothing really important gets ruined. So yeah, all-in-ones in the kitchen. I think it's a good fit. Page not found on this device over at Best Buy. Was out of stock for several days at this point, so I'll just stop tracking this. So one less link to maintain. Willow has a high expectation this morning. Just the fact that I'm here speaking and all of that kind of attracts the dog. Usually they don't really care for my office. But for some reason, streaming makes them hang out with me. So I hope you don't mind the occasional barking. $180 on Galaxy Tab A 8-inch this time. Slightly larger screen on this one. $90 for a 22-inch refurbished monitor. Not a bad one either. I would definitely consider that. It's available online and in stores at Canada Computers. Yeah, good way to make your laptop more ergonomic for those times where you're going to use it for more than, let's say, half an hour. Just adding an external monitor can improve the ergonomy of your setup quite a bit, especially if you have a smaller laptop. That's one of the things 17-inch laptops are slightly better. You don't need to elevate them as much to create an ergonomic setup. They're just so hard to carry around on a regular basis. It's fine if you take it out of the house maybe twice a month, once a week maximum. And if you move on a regular basis, they're definitely convenient. But yeah, for every other reasons, I would rather take a 15-inch or 13-inch laptop and have a desk somewhere with a monitor I can hook it on for those times where I need it for more than 30 minutes in a row. So what's everybody's plan for the weekend? Sorry about that. One of my dog really wants to go play at this point. Oh. Hey you. They're looking forward to me finishing this update thing so we can go and walk and play and enjoy the weather. Which is pretty nice today comparing that we actually had snow yesterday. But yeah, it's melting pretty good today. Let's say that. Air Razer Ornata Chroma Membrane Gaming Keyboard. Yeah, that's a long one to say. At 140, yeah, that's a little bit more expensive than I would pay for that. Sounds like at that price I'd be looking at an actual mechanical keyboard rather than a mechanomembrane model. .28" and yeah, pretty high resolution on that one. Yeah, technically that's 4K. Still pretty expensive to do 4K gaming nowadays. Not only do you pay quite a bit on your graphics hardware, the monitors are pretty expensive too. I'd be curious to try that trackball one day. I just kind of regret that they went for a wireless approach on us. As I often say, I'd rather deal with cables than batteries, but that's me. Especially on a tracking device you're not going to be moving across your desk, then I see very little benefits to having it wireless. The only tangible benefit is if you're using it with a laptop. But then the ergonomy difference between a trackpad and a mouse pad, a trackball, not exactly convinced there that you're trading up. You've got dedicated buttons and a few things like that, but yeah, I have no complaint with trackpads personally. So I guess if it's you like trackball but not trackpad, but that's probably very few people. And I know a few of those, but yeah. I'm not sure I understand why Logitech went wireless on that one. Interesting. A remix version of Chrono Trigger soundtrack here. Called Feel Me by Groundislava. Not sure if they're trying to pass that as something original rather than a remix. It's kind of a house remix too. Yeah, pass. Prefer the original there. So 72095 on the Google Pixel if you still want the older model. Still not the most attractive price we've seen on that device. Would probably rather go for an iPhone or even the Galaxy S8 at this point. Just too bad we don't have a OnePlus handset on market at this point. I really like their value offering usually. Wet Willow. Want to bark at people? Yeah, $20 on Logitech speakers. Those are entirely driven by the USB ports, so even if you don't have an audio output or don't have a power outlet nearby, those will do the trick just fine. That's one nice thing about them. So it's a easy way and portable way to upgrade the sound on your laptop if you need to. And yeah, probably a few laptop would benefit from those speakers rather the ones they have built in. So Costco does have that model on tap. And yeah, that's the best price on the market on this specific model right now. I'd pick it up mostly for versatility at this point. Although according to the score, it's not that good. There's probably better 2-in-1s on my side if the score is so low. Alright, 85% of the work done. So nearing the end of my stream. So it's probably going to be roughly 3 hours of stream this morning. Not too bad. Hope everybody's having a great weekend out there. And yeah, if you've got any question about what to buy this weekend, let me know and I can help you figure that out. No change there. Yeah, the new styles for the compatibilities table makes me happy. It's the little things, I guess. That one's still out of stock everywhere. For a compact computer, that wasn't terrible. Would probably look really bad in my house. With two dogs and one cat, that fabric case probably would look pretty bad after a very short while. The dust filters on my computer definitely feel the effect of having that many pets in the house, I can tell you that. Still out of stock, a new egg. Yes, Willow. Soon. We'll go play soon, yes. Allez, up, up. There you go. So everyone, this is Willow. She's the noisy girl you've been hearing through the stream. Yes. That's a special order everywhere, so I'm not going to count that as an option. Still out of stock at Newegg on this particular laptop. $300 refurbished for Transformer book with an Intel Atom processor. Yeah, that would not be my pick at that price point. That's out of stock over at Microsoft. Still out of stock at London Drugs for that tablet. Yeah, I've got the feeling I'm mostly dealing with out of stock links at this point, as I'm reaching the 94% mark. So if anyone has any question or just would like someone to throw shopping ideas at, I can help you find what you need this weekend as I finish updating those entries. That one is back ordered over at Mike's Computer Shop. Usually that would be a pretty good computer for CAD and video editing and that sort of stuff on the go. Not much of a gaming laptop. But yeah, if you're a roaming 3D artist or something like that, that might work. Some of those workstations have pro grade GPU in them. Doesn't make them any faster, but those GPU are more precise, so for 3D modeling and CAD, they're pretty sought after usually. But for gaming, they're not a good value. 97% people. Special order, so we're not considering that an option from Canada Computer. Yeah, 5T not available even from OnePlus at the moment. They kind of stop production and selling anything a few months between their releases. So if you're a fan of OnePlus phones, there's always a few months during the year where you cannot buy their product at all. Not quite sure why they do it that way. Whenever that happens, you know a new model is coming out. But then again, buying from them on launch day sometimes require a little bit of extra patience. At least they no longer have that kind of invite system for buying their smartphones. And here's the last link I had to update this morning. So got everything tied up and updated on the data front. So I'll just compile everything and we'll see which profiles are favored by the current market. All right. After this, I'll go and enjoy the nice weather with the dogs and take them for a nice walk around the neighborhood. They've definitely, they definitely deserve it. Right, got the 400 needs updated. Now for the stats, those are the statistics used to compare one device to another. Yes, Widow. All right. So the favored archetypes today, can find those easily enough from the home page. If I scroll down, favored archetypes right now are the Serious Video Editor looking for a stationary computer. So if you're doing video editing, not necessarily on professional basis yet, but pretty close, you could save $130 right now. The Serious Photo Editor could save up to 100. Actually, I'll bring this up here because it's a little clearer on my screen. So yeah, Serious Photo Editor could save $112 right now compared to what laptops for that sort of need usually are usually priced for. If you're mostly into Word, Excel, that sort of work, you could save $82 right now on a laptop. If you're a serious music producer and you have to deal with pretty extensive compositions, you could save $75 on a laptop right now. And let's see, if you're a multitasker, so like to have multiple documents open at once, maybe do more than one thing at once, you could save $55 on a stationary computer. And if you're a casual nomad, so I would describe that as, well, you watch videos and little social media communication, emails, reading stuff, watching videos, enjoying music, that sort of stuff, but you rarely do it from home, or at least you need something very portable for that sort of thing, you could save $42 on a laptop at this point. So those are the favored archetypes in the current market. If you recognize yourself in there, well, good for you. Maybe you should look for what's available in the market right now. But yeah, that's it for me this weekend. So enjoy your day. I hope the weather where you are is as nice as it is over here. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.